I chose Dorothea Lange for this assignment because instead of standing by and watching history happen, Lange made herself a part of it by photographing the Great Depression and World War I. Her photojournalism technique showed people around the world what America's social and political tragedy was like during the time. She contributed to the social realism movement by conveying strength through suffering using her ethically evaluative black and white photos. Lange's photo, White Angel Bread Line, which was taken in 1933 in San Francisco, California, is of several hungry men waiting for their bread that was being served during the Great Depression. The one man that has his back toward the crowd and is leaning on the fence shows the reader that they are waiting for a long time for the bread. This man also seems hopeless and like he is just trying to get by day. I also notice how his hat is dirty and his jacket is too big, unlike the other men, so maybe the farmers got to the bread last, which really shows how America was at this time. The high perspective makes the viewer understand how these men were below everyone in their social class. This photo that is called Man Beside Wheelbarrow, which was taken in 1934, uses top light and high contrast to show how he is in distress and is looking hopeless and is tired. Lange's most iconic and well-known photo, called Migrant Daughter, which was taken in 1936, is of Florence Owens Thompson, a 32-year-old mother of 7. Lange used the natural light behind herself, which highlights the mother's face and darkens the background, which happens to be her tiny tent that her and her children were living in. The increased contrast shows viewers the mother's wrinkles on her scrunched-up forehead and how she looks older than 32. This photo, called Migrant Daughter, which was taken in 1936, is of a young woman of a migrant Tennessee coal miner that's living in an American river camp near Sacramento, California. Lange uses the front light, which creates a contrast between the subject and the background, which is her small tent that she's lived in. She clearly looks stressed out and hopeless, and it looks as if she doesn't even know that Lange is there taking a photo of her. This photo, called Pea Harvest, was taken in 1937 in Napomo, California. The side lighting creates depth in the picture, and the people on the ground are hunched over so the viewer can see how these farmers spent most of their days just to make a living, with an aching back and sunlight beaming down on them with no visible shade. This image is called Toward Los Angeles, California, and it was taken in 1937. It's of two barefoot men walking to Los Angeles, California, with a billboard next to them, mocking them, saying, "Next time, take the train, relax." They're obviously too poor to take the train, and they're probably carrying everything they own with them. Lange used the one-point vanishing perspective, which allows the viewer to see how far these two men have to walk. This image is called Mommy's Little Soldier, and it was taken in 1939. You can see that the little boy's arm is bandaged up, and he's wearing girls' shoes, and the mother has a knee patch over her jeans, which shows how poor they are. And since they are living in a small tent, I assume that they cannot afford very good professional medical help. This photo is called Mother and Child, and it's of South Dakota refugees in California in 1939. None of them look happy and they are all dirty, so this provides the viewer with knowledge that they have not had access to much water to bathe in. The child in the top left corner has a thick jacket on with only shorts, which makes it seem to me that it was warm outside, but the jacket is all that they could provide to the child because of their lack of resources. Again, Lange's photo showed us how people all over were struggling to make ends meet during the Depression and World War I. Some photos, like the migrant mother, ended up helping the camp by providing resources. Lange and her photography had a very important role in history because the photos provided emotions.